Hey y'all, it is October the 19th, 2019. And y'all, thank you for joining me. I just wanted to shoot a quick aside. Recently, I made a video, or a couple of them, pertaining to, of course, Parkland, but Alexa Midnick, just recently. If you go back, if you missed them, they're posted up on this channel. So I was talking about Alexa Midnick. Now, there's a lot of people talk about in regards to Parkland, and I mean a lot of people. But Alexa Midnick, honestly, decidedly, she's the most sensational, I think. From what I've seen, I don't know, there might be some more sensational. There's definitely people on different levels in regards to Parkland, but I want to hear from Alexa. And if we can't hear from her, I want to know why. And I kind of stressed that in the video, and you can see why I was stressed at. If you go check them out, you probably already did check them out. Thank you. But I wanted to make a little aside video in regards to the comments. I received a few comments in a row, actually, on that particular video, and they were pretty insightful, and they were from some dear contributors of this channel. Honestly, everybody's a dear contributor, but these people tend to get deeper. All right, they tend to get into the nitty gritty, and for that I appreciate them. And so, without further ado, we got Unwrapped by Brent. I wanted to address whatever it is she says in here. I forget. She says this: I would like to say that people who watch the news on TV or heard about it at work, and I think this is in regards to Parkland, or something like that, were more shaken up than this young girl who actually heard gunshots, didn't know or even ask where her best friend was, and may have been calmly talking with the alleged shooter. Parenthesis. Say if she was a relative or someone I was close to, I would be concerned that she could be a sociopath, or even the shooter herself. Dun, dun, dun. And I think the last part of that comment was facetious. I'm not really sure, actually. Sometimes you don't know. I wouldn't be concerned on that level, but I definitely would be concerned, kind of how Brenda's saying, is whether or not my friend got shot and killed, because a lot of these people, they didn't know until well after the fact, like way into the wee hours of the night or something like that. All right, so if my best friend in the world I knew was in that building, and that building got shot up, and I hadn't heard from my best friend in the world, see, you gotta understand, like, if this is not, say, a staged thing in regards to Alexa Midnick, if that's not fake, of course that'd be traumatizing. That'd be very traumatizing, especially because you're caught on the news and you're just laughing and giggling about it, and that goes out even before you know your friend's dead. All right, that would be traumatizing. For that, definitely, I think Alexa deserves respect and her privacy for sure. But to drop off the face of the earth, that really doesn't make any sense. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Let's go to a different comment real quick, because we got a few of them. In fact, there might be one. I might have to look for it. She's a treasure trove, says Joe Green. She is a treasure trove. And then he says 3 things she reveals about how and why it's a fabricated event. And to an extent, I agree with Joe Green. And Joe Green is really onto something. He's onto a few things, I think. However, fabricated, I don't know how fabricated. I don't know how fabricated. Like, fabricated, and in that Alexa Midnick is in on the event, because it's not easy to tell. It's really not easy to tell what she knows, what she doesn't know. I would be concerned. And the thing is, the easiest thing that you could do is ask Andrew Pollock. Isn't she a friend of the family? Just say, hey, do you know Alexa Midnick? Of course you know her, right? Of course you do. So what's she been up to lately? Have you talked to her? I mean, the thing is, her best friend in the world died. That would be your daughter, right? So you might talk to her from time to time. Maybe. Can somebody tell us where she is? Because she's actually sensational. And everybody in the March for Our Lives, they proved it on their YouTube. You can go to their YouTube right now. And you could go to different various little speeches that they're giving, and they're talking to mayors, and they're trying to tell mayors what to do across the country. And these mayors who go see David Hogg and his band of merry men, they want to be told what to do. That's the thing about it. That's why they go. All right. For some reason, they want to be told what to do by David Hogg. And you're going to see that implemented in the various cities in which they represent, unless you vote them out or something like that. Some people say the voting is rigged. I say it is rigged to an extent. There's an extent to it. I mean, part of this is real world. All right. At least that's what's my theory. Joe Green then goes on and says, she's one of, if not the best crisis actors I've seen. And the thing is, I'll give him that, if she is a crisis actor. And that is a possibility, y'all. I mean, far be it from me to ever say that that's not a possibility. It is. But if she is, yeah, she is the best, man. I mean, she really threw a wrench in the whole situation, totally contradicted the whole situation, and she's all bubbly and effervescent, all right? I don't mean to gush over this girl, but the thing is, she's an adult, number one, and two, it's just the things she said, the way she said them, the look on her face when she said the things, was just amazing, I think, altogether. And then you got the skyline in the background, and the sun's kind of setting. That was just picturesque. I mean, I think that was burned into people's memories forever and ever. Alexa Midnight, we will not forget, even if we forget her name, we're not going to forget those chubby cheeks. I don't think. But also, shoot, I know we got a comment, another comment, and it's from a dear contributor named Angela. All right, and we're gonna read this, and then we're gonna go over what I think we know, or what we want to know. We're gonna go over a couple of questions before we get out of here. Initial thoughts at the time when I first saw her being interviewed, and that's in regards to Alexa Midnick. Angela says this: I felt there was something about her. I truly can't put my finger on exactly what I mean. Excuse me. I just kind of get a strange feeling when I see and hear her. Kind of mesmerizing would be getting close. So it's not mesmerizing, according to Angela, but it's getting close. It's got like a mesmerizing feel. And I don't know if that might be, I mean, that's something to think about. Because, as we were hinting at earlier, it is kind of mesmerizing in a sense. It's not just to say, oh, it's an attractive young girl, but it's just the way that she's talking, the way the sun's setting, the way she totally throws a wrench into things and just like does it so casually. That's pretty dang awesome. And then come to find out, and nobody ever see, it's so sensational. Oh man, it's so got water on the dang phone. Oh no, y'all, technical difficulties. Hold on, I'm gonna wipe the phone. Okay, I think that did it. Oh man, we're looking at Suzanne Summers. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Alright, y'all, I had to take a quick second to wipe the dang phone down. I got water all up on it. So what we were saying is, okay, I forget what we were saying, but we got Alexa Midnick, and it was kind of mesmerizing. That's something to think about. That's kind of an angle to think about. Why was it so like this? Why was it so sensational? And then when you got every network on television trying desperately to sensationalize this whole incident, but to no avail, because David Hogg, he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not popular. Like, Emma Gonzalez is not popular. All these people out there, they have a constituency of people that they reach, but they're just ultimately not popular. They're just not sensational. They don't have what it takes, right? You know what I'm saying? They just don't have what it takes. And I just wanted to point that out. And then before we get up out of here too, also, I want to go back to what Joe Green said a little bit. He said 3 things that reveal how and why it's a fabricated event. He did not list the 3 things. And I know that, I'm pretty sure like he does have examples, but I just wonder what exactly is the examples. And I did want to throw out there also, because I may have mentioned, but I want to mention it again. As far as fire alarms, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, but as far as fire alarms, I could have sworn that a good while back, right, and correct me if I'm wrong out there, a good while back there's kind of some reform as far as fire alarms go. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if that was from state to state or if it was in Florida in general. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what's going on. I might have to Google it. All right. But isn't it so that fire alarms, they have a certain sort of policy that they go by. Like, there's a certain sort of procedure to follow with fire alarms just for safety's sake. Like, for example, I could have sworn, the concern was back in the day, years ago, was what if a shooter, an alleged shooter, a potential shooter, what if they were to pull the fire alarm? All right, in order to trick people. And that was kind of a premise that they put out for this particular incident, although that didn't add up. They said, what if the person was to pull a fire alarm? We're going to have a whole episode about fire alarm. They said, what if a person were to pull a fire alarm in order to trick the kids to all crowding out and walking up into a slaughter, basically? That's bad. We shouldn't have that. We should have safety against that, right? So that being said, the procedure that's described, you know what I'm saying, like in the open public narrative is total chaos, right? Some sort of principle. The thing is, I want to say, I remember the principal, but I forget his name. It was the young black fella, I want to say, was the one who went on the intercom, because remember, Alexa Midnick said, hey, principal went on the intercom, told everybody to get up out of the school, right? What building was she in? Oh my gosh, don't we need to know? What building was she in? That's what we need to know. All right. So, but she doesn't say, nobody asked her. Thing is, okay, what's the procedure for fire alarms? Can I ask you that? All right. And you got the principal so conveniently at the airport. The scene of the last major F up by Scotty Israel. He's over there at the airport for some odd reason on Valentine's Day. And it's an assistant principal who does this fire alarm business. Can we talk to him? Of course not. He's off in hiding. They're tucking him off somewhere. Can't talk to him, right? He's not sensational. They're going to tuck him off somewhere. Don't talk to him. They're just not even going to have him anywhere around the school. All right. So what is the procedure? Are there safety protocol involved? And if so, well, how come those weren't followed? And our head's going to roll about that. No, I don't think so. All right. But there's a lot of ways that Alexa Midnick throws a wrench in this whole situation. And if you think about it, okay, her class is leaving because of a fire alarm. A fire alarm, right? A fire alarm. Now, the fire alarm goes off and it turns itself off before Nicholas Cruz allegedly even gets onto the second floor. Meaning there's a whole bunch of shooting that took place in between the fire alarm and total dead silence. There was a whole bunch of shooting that took place. All right. The fire alarm stopped, and then there was a whole bunch of shooting that took place, and then there was some diddly-dallying around, and then Nicholas Cruz did a moonwalk outside of the building. And then he ran to the south side of the campus before allegedly mixing in with Alexa Midnick. Meanwhile, I guess if she is on the south side of the campus, she mixes in with him when they're coming down the stairs or something like that. And she's like, oh man, I'm glad it wasn't you. But the thing is, okay, that was 3 or 4 minutes ago. When were you hearing gunshots? Because she was saying, hey, oh man, there was gunshots and everybody said it was a gun and people were freaking out and they're walking down the stairs. How many minutes does it take for y'all to do that? Right? Logistically, straight up and down impossible. All right? Unless Alexa Midnick was coming up out of the freshman building with Nicholas Cruz, and that totally throws an even bigger wrench in the whole problem, in the whole situation. All right? Either way, it is very, very bad. All right? But whether or not Alexa Midnick is an actor or an actress, she could be. She could be. But I get the feeling she ain't. I know it's, but we got to have different opinions, y'all. And I appreciate y'all. And thank you for your advice and stuff. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to try to spend time to get back to the other comments. You know what I'm saying? I get very carried away, I guess, with stuff. And sometimes forget to get the comments just so that y'all know. And then I always mean to get back to them. And so I'm going to do that tonight, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And let me know stuff about this sparkling stuff and what you think about stuff. And I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.